Hey, Kyle here from Animist Ecology. In this video, I want to talk about how forest bathing in the atmosphere of the forest, what the Japanese call Shinrin-Yoku, is a powerful way to relax your brain psychologically, so you think more clearly, more creatively, you're more present in the moment, and also relax your body physiologically, so you're more present in your body with this felt sense of your internal experience. So the Eastern cultures are really interesting, and there's been a lot of research done in Japan and China on how nature heals people. Japan has, pioneered since the early 80s, and the tech boom that really affected people's stress levels and kept people on screens increasingly instead of being outside. And they did a lot of research on how being in forests affects people's, functioning cognitively, as well as their physiological states in their body. And in China as well, also have a very ancient tradition called Taoism that influences the culture to this day, where there's a huge interest in the effect of, there's a huge interest in the effect of forests and being in nature on people's physiology. So Japan has their ancient Shinto tradition, an animistic tradition that really looks at connection to nature, and they believe in these kami, these spirits in trees and plants and the forces of nature. And China also has a very ancient animistic tradition that's often not as well known because the Confucian tradition dominates today under the communist regime. So basically, there's been a lot of research done. There's one interesting study done in China that found that when you spend time in a forest, just 15 minutes, your brain waves slow. So they compared people spending time walking in an urban area with walking in a forest for just 15-minute sessions. And they found an increase in alpha waves. So if you're not familiar with brain waves, we have 5 frequencies of brain waves. And within each frequency, there's a range of experience. But essentially, brain waves are states of consciousness that can be measured with an EEG machine. And now it's quite easy with portable EEG headsets to literally measure this stuff anywhere inexpensively. So there's a lot of cool research coming out now because of that. And they basically measured people in the urban area walking, and they saw like a lot of beta brainwave activity. So beta brainwaves dominate the modern experience. It's normal waking consciousness when you have to navigate a problem, when you have to drive, you have to do menial routine tasks. But the problem is when you want to relax, beta brainwave, you get stuck, especially in high beta, you get stress, anxiety, you get tension all over your body, you get tight muscles, you get this activation of the sympathetic nervous system, the stress response that's super overactivated in a lot of modern people. They're just always pumping cortisol and adrenaline into their body. They're using stimulants like coffee to get through the day, to maintain this kind of objective, narrow focus, which is characteristic of most beta brainwave activities. So when we're in nature, the study found, we slow down into alpha brainwaves, okay? And alpha is associated with relaxed alertness, okay? So you're relaxed in your body, you're more present, and you're alert. So you're paying attention in this relaxed, open focus, which is really powerful when you're in nature, because people can also be in nature and be very narrowly focused, like worrying about some animal coming to bite them, or a tick, or really zoning in on trees and labeling everything, and not really let go into this alpha. So to really get into alpha when you're in nature, what you want to do is just pay attention to how you're feeling inside your body. So we have this feeling sense that can be developed to an incredible degree, where we can feel the world around us, and we can interpret the world through how it makes us feel in our body, like intuition. And this is a powerful way to generate insights. It's a powerful way to really connect in this ancient, forgotten language that has really been buried in the modern world, where we can actually feel the environment and feel the elements and interpret the world through how it makes us feel in our bodies, rather than just how it makes us think. And the language that we impose on the world to label and compare things and create these symbols, because really words are symbols of real things. And in the Western culture, we're so caught up in the abstract symbols that often we don't even experience the real world in a direct way anymore. And our children are taken out of, sandboxes and being outside and put into these schools where they're taught the way the world is, but almost never through direct experience, through book textbooks, through lectures, through experts that can tell them how it is, rather than through their own direct experience. So alpha brainwaves are powerful when we slow down in nature, and we can do this by just tuning into how we feel in our body. So stopping, feeling how you're feeling in your body when your attention wanders, bring it back to how you're feeling in your body, this felt presence of your immediate experience. So not labeling things based on your past and what you've been told, and not planning things for the future, which is like the beta state we're almost always in, of ruminating, planning, and not being in this kind of felt presence of immediate experience, because this is what feels good. And tuning into the body, it feels really good. And at first it can be kind of challenging if you're not used to it, but the more you do it, the more this feeling sense develops. And the more you can ask yourself when you see the world around you is, how does that make me feel? So one practice I really like is when you're in the forest, notice things in the environment that catch your attention and ask yourself in your mind, how does this make me feel? And then drop below your neck into your body and feel how it makes you feel in terms of your emotional state, how it makes you feel. So seeing a beautiful tree, seeing a flowing brook through the forest, seeing a bird, ask yourself, how does this make me feel? And then pay attention for a minute to these feelings in your body. And just like in meditation practice, you can develop this sense. So alpha is associated with meditation, but we can meditate in nature, in a forest. In fact, we have evolved to live in forests, and it's only in recent times, in the last 5,000 to 10,000 years, that many cultures have completely exited the forest. And forests are places where we can regain our animistic tradition of direct felt experience, instead of just this modern abstract rational analysis. And really what you want to have is a combination of balance of the two. But today we're dangerously imbalanced in our analysis, our abstraction, our calculation, our data, right? We can measure everything about climate change, but the better our measurements get, it doesn't actually change the system and the way people act, right? Because we don't have this felt connection to nature. Some people do. You're watching this video, you probably do. You've gotten this far in the video, you're interested, you probably do. But it's rare. You're part of a rare person today in the Western world that still has this felt connection. So just to summarize, beta brainwaves are this narrow, objective focus. You're focusing on a task, you're labeling things, you're analyzing, and it stresses our body. It's paying attention in that way requires a lot of physiological resources, and we get locked in that state. We get high stress, we get anxiety, we get depression, we get burnout. When we're in nature, we naturally tune into alpha. Now, if you're really stressed, you gotta really pay attention to your body experience to get the full alpha response. So the more you tune into your senses, stopping, smelling the flowers, hearing the birds, and having this more diffuse awareness of the world around you, the more you're gonna get alpha brainwave activity. And the more your body physiologically relaxes and your brain psychologically relaxes in your thinking. You stop worrying about the past and the future and ruminating and planning. And you just experience things as they are. The way we have for most of our history, we were present in a much more alpha state. We weren't always trying to figure everything out. We were present with this aliveness in the environment. And you'll find the more you develop this feeling sense, the more alive you become in your body, the more connected to your emotions you become, and also the more alive your senses become, and the more alive the world around you becomes. And that's really what animistic perception is about. The aliveness that's all around us. Trees are living beings, plants are, mushrooms are, all this stuff around us is alive, it's vibrating, it has breath to some extent. Breathing is fundamental to life. Breathing, comes from a Latin root, anima. Anima means to breathe, means breath, spirit, life. As well, spirit in English comes from a Latin root, spiritus, which means breath, courage, spirit, life. Very similar to the root anima. So we have these things in our culture, but they're buried today. And if we don't dig this stuff up, we're gonna destroy this planet, right? And that would be a travesty because, we have so much knowledge today, that we can use to make this like incredible golden age where people get along and it's fair. But we just have to have the perception, the connection to do it. So alpha brainwaves is when you slow your mind down, you can get more alpha by tuning into how you feel in your body, asking yourself, how does this make me feel, this experience, this forest? You could focus on individual objects that are grabbing your attention, or just the whole immersive experience of the forest as a single thing, how it makes you feel. And one of the most powerful ways to get into alpha is to notice space. So just notice the space around you, the space in which the trees and the plants and everything is contained within, right? The space. And when we visualize space with our eyes closed, it can trigger alpha. And also when we are eyes open, experience and alert and relaxed, visualizing space, seeing space, feeling space is a powerful way to increase our alpha brainwave activity. And the more you're in alpha, the more relaxed you're gonna be, the more creative you're gonna be. You know, alpha results in physiological reductions in blood pressure, in stress hormones. So it's powerful ways, you know, we can apply this to actually heal ourselves rather than having to take pills and all this stuff that, you know, is a short-term fix that long-term, you know, who knows what it does, right? So nature, connection is really what we need today, and it's incredibly rare, right? So put some time aside every week for a forest ritual where you can bathe in the forest, tune into your senses, to this felt presence immediate experience, drop into this relaxed, alert attention where you're just scanning the environment with this open, diffuse, and this feeling of immersion in terms of your awareness in what you're doing, rather than just analyzing it and labeling it and trying to figure it out. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, please give me a comment. I'd love to hear, like, you know, if you practice this yourself, and if you want to do more of this, I'd love to hear your experience. Naturally, when we're in nature, we tune into this, but the more we kind of are present and mindful of our tendencies to kind of drift into the future and the past, the more we can tune into this felt presence of our immediate experience, this feeling sense in our body. So hit me up in the comments if you like this video, and if you have anything you want to share from your own experience, I'd love to hear it. And if you enjoyed it, please subscribe and give it a like if you would be so kind. Again, I'm Kyle from Animal Psychology. I want to thank you so much for your time, for watching this, and I want to wish you a wonderful day, and may the forest be with you.